Sort of Christmas time really, and you know, he said all along that, you know, we'll just keep on plodding along, you know, let everybody else have the publicity, and hopefully we'll still be there at the end.
Do you agree with Kevin? Whatever happens tonight, it's still a 3-horse race?
Yeah, I mean, when you're chasing the championship, 5 games is a long time. Anything can happen in 5 games, so whatever the result tonight, all 3 sides will still be in a chance.
Last time these two met was at Old Trafford last December. United won it 1-0.
Ince, there's a spread to the game at the moment. Giggs. Here's Sharp. United's turn. Oh, a miskick by Sarches perfectly for Hughes! Oh, it was gift-wrapped.
Mark Hughes settling it. Hughes doesn't play tonight. He's suspended. If you've just joined us, let me tell you that Brian Robson doesn't play either. Robson is named on the bench. We're expecting that Ryan Giggs will be named up front. Big match, this one. This is what they're saying about it outside Carrow Road.
Well, I think if Norwich win this one, they have the championship easily. I don't think that there's really many more hard matches left, you know. I think this is the one that's going to be the championship decider.
You think it's as clear-cut as that?
Well, I think it is. I think like it's either going to be Man United or Norwich. I don't really fancy Aston Villa. I think they're not as strong as they were at the start of the season.
I think that's got to be very tight. That's got to be a semi-final every game. But I think if we beat them tonight, we stand a good chance of winning the championship.
Manchester United 3. We're concentrating on the top of the FA Premier League tonight. This coming Good Friday, we're dipping in again at the bottom. What a good match we got when we went to Middlesbrough the other week. 2:30 in the afternoon, Wimbledon against Crystal Palace. And later that same day, Sheffield United against Manchester City. 6:45 that starts. Ian Butterworth, is there any way back for Norwich City?
Well, we've got to score a couple of early goals, haven't we, to get back in the game. I don't know what you're saying in the dressing room, but the only thing you can say really is to have a go, really. That's it, 3-0 down. We've got to hope for an early goal.
What would you do if you were in Norwich City's place, Kevin Richardson?
I would just tell the lads to go out. You know the score. They've scored 3 in the first half. There's no reason why Norwich can't score 3 in the second. Like Ian said, a couple of early goals will help, and maybe I would change up front.
OK, let's rejoin Andy Gray and Ian Dark.
Thank you very much indeed, fellas. Alex Ferguson must have been very, very happy with developments in that first half. He affords himself a little half smile. Now, if Norwich are going to come back and score 3 goals, I have to tell you that only once in 43 games this season have they conceded 3, and that was against Everton. Andy?
Just looking at Alex Ferguson, you know what he's shouting to his players? The linesman, watch offside. You believe that? He's obviously concerned this half.
Well, Mike Bullivan, I think it's fair to say, was vindicated by the replays of the goals in the first half. So try telling that to the Norwich City players. Alex Ferguson a little bit worried whether there might be revenge. Surely things like that don't happen. Now, Ince. Here's Irwin playing it forward. Cantona with a typical little layoff, and now Sharp. Giggs looking for the 1-2 with Sharp. Gets the cross into Cantona with a header!
Well, it's a great cross from Lee Sharp. That's his forte, that's what he's very, very good at.
Nixon for Norwich. Need something quickly, Norwich. Crook trying to get Fox in behind Pallister. And the little man did get in there, but Pallister made sure that no more harm came of that one. Well, that'll be about 3,400 quid, Gary.
Well, he wouldn't need a lens that big to get a close-up of that incident, would he? But this is what Lee Sharp, for me, is excellent at. As he plays a little ball, gets the delivery, but here, it's a first-time cross, but what he's good at, he puts it into the danger area. And that's an easier header than it looks. Made it easy for the goalkeeper, Eric Cantona, there. I'm a little bit surprised that Mike Walker hasn't changed it. I thought he would try and change it as early as the beginning of the second half. Perhaps he said to the lads, you've got yourselves into this problem. You know, I'm going to give you the 11 a chance to get yourselves out of it.
Bowen flicking it in, Giggs with the back header. Away by Bowen. United starting the second half in the style that they played during most of the first. Once again, McClare knocking the ball into space for Kinchalskis. Bags of red shirts arriving in the penalty area too. Kinchalskis across the face of goal, just wanted a touch. McClare still might be something for United. And Gunn just getting the fingertips to it.
Well, that's a fine save from Brian Gunn. But at least Sharp get a touch on this, and all he needs is a touch. What's Sharp? He comes to the near post and just doesn't get enough in the header. He couldn't possibly have missed. But this one, Gunn sees it all away. That's a very fine save.
Second half pressure at the start from United. Bruce was waiting there. Colston did well, once, twice with the header, not the third time though, and it's broken for Steve Bruce. Cantona.
Well, they'll be trying everything now, Ian. 3-0 up, the confidence of this fine start to the second half. Anything that comes, you can be sure they'll be trying it, especially the Frenchman. Just comes off the side of his boot.
Eric Cantona already with 19 goals this season and 8 now for Manchester United. The other 11 in his Leeds incarnation. Phillips. Fox trying to make something of it, and he's got the pace to get there too. Fox's trickery gets in there. Robbins. And who's there for United? McClare again. Now Kinchalskis with the pace to get there ahead of Colston. Giggs in the middle, Cantona arriving too on the far post. Here he is, just too long. Brian McClare, and I hope the boo boys at Ibrox, who gave Brian McClare such a tough time, are watching his performance here tonight. Here's Sharp. Nothing this time for United, but they've put on a really good performance. Now Fox, Norwich, only Robbins there for company, and he can't find him. Claims for handball against McClare there. That might be worth looking at again. And here's Kinchalskis again. Parker. Goss. Robbins with the layoff. Culverhouse in support. And Goss can't get any direction into his cross. Let's get some news touchline from Nick Collins.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, well, a typical no-panic reaction from Mike Walker, the Norwich manager. Had a quick word with him as he emerged for the second half. Basically, he's saying we've got nothing to lose. One early goal could change everything. And although they discussed making some changes at half-time, they're going to see how the early moments of the second half work out before making any changes. Ian.
Thank you, Nick. Norwich with 5 to play after tonight. Spurs away, Leeds home, Ipswich away. That's live on Sky Sports. Liverpool at home and Middlesbrough away. That's the Norwich run-in. Unless they can produce something dramatic here, they've got a bit of damage to repair. Ince. United in commanding form. Cantona. McClare. And he didn't really get hold of it. Now Bowen pressing forward. Robbins making a little run. Fox is in the middle too. It's Phillips with the cross. And Schmeichel is about 3 feet higher than Will Fox.
That's feeding right to Peter Schmeichel, it really is. The cross from David Phillips is far too close to him. It's going to be very soon, the change is coming. I can see Efan Ekoku taking his tracksuit off right beside the dugout, so it seems that he's going to be introduced very shortly.
Culverhouse. Too long. Well, we were a little surprised when Ekoku, the man who was bought literally minutes before the transfer deadline from Bournemouth, wasn't brought on at half-time. We were surprised. We thought he might come on for the second half, but I think we're going to see him pretty soon for his first team debut for Norwich City. Pacey, tall striker, and Norwich certainly needs something to unsettle the calm in that Manchester United defence. David Phillips. Steve Bruce across there, oldest player in the United side at 32, the skipper. Bowen. Norwich just looking for that one goal that they feel might change the complexion of this. Impudent little touch from Giggs. Finding McClare, and he can't quite thread it through. Back to Giggs. Culverhouse with the interception. Now here's Crook. Little rural fox. Culverhouse again. And straight to Ince. And look at this driving, surging run from the man who was runner-up in the Players' Player of the Year award. Look at the space Kanchelskis has got if he can find him, and he can't. Kanchelskis can't believe that, and Ince can't either. He's got his head in his hands. Meanwhile, Norwich counter. Phillips. And easy meet again for Schmeichel, who was voted by his fellow pros as the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, ahead of some very good keepers like England's Chris Woods, Neville Southall, Dave Seaman, Nigel Martin. He's the guy the pros think is number one. Bruce is here. Robbins there with him. And now Pallister. Oh, and Giggs has got him behind the two central defenders here. Arriving in support is Sharp and McClare and Kanchelskis. And he hits the outside of the upright with it. Crackerjack of a shot from the Ukrainian winger.
What a dilemma though Norwich have. Every time they have an attack, they've got to be concerned about the pace of Giggs and Kanchelskis in particular. But great vision again from McClare, a little touch there. You think there's no room for Kanchelskis to get the shot, but the way this United side are playing them at the moment, they're going to try anything.
I must say, they do look full of goals tonight, don't they?
If they can't ever play with confidence tonight, then they never will. That little 8-minute spell of 3 goals, that was a real shot in the arm for them. And the confidence has just grown and grown.
Big Gary Pallister. Parker. McClare. 1-2 with Giggs. Everything making sweet music for Manchester United. Now the substitution, I think, is about to be made. I think it's Goss who may be coming off, and Ekoku. Could be Megson, not sure. It looks like an 8 or a 6 anyway. Meanwhile, Robbins. And I'm told from the bench that it's going to be Gary Megson who'll come off for Norwich. And it might be any moment now. Not the best clearance that from Schmeichel. And here it is, in fact, the substitution. Off comes Gary Megson. There's John Deere, the assistant manager, holding the board. And the oldest player on the field, 33-year-old Gary Megson, comes off out of the midfield. And Norwich give a debut to Efan Ekoku. He's 25, 6 feet 1 inches tall. And already he scored for the reserves against Arsenal last week. And I'm told it was his run that created a penalty in that football combination match as well. It ended in a 2-2 draw. Ekoku, who was born in Manchester, though he tells me he wasn't a United fan. supported Liverpool.
Well, if he turns this game round for Norwich, he'll make himself a hero for life down here.
Well, Efan Ekoku make a storybook start for Norwich. Cantona again just dropping off away from the front two to create havoc. And done there, bad bounce for him. Here's Jeremy Goss. Crook for Fox, no. Goss in with the challenge, and he was fouled by Ince. Crook long, Phillips too high for him to make too much of that. Schmeicher's clearance again, not too good, straight to Bowen. Now Phillips, again from long range. But some of the shooting has been a shade on the optimistic side, Andy.
A shade on the desperate side now, Ian. As we approach the hour mark, and we see a good run there from Efan Ekoku there, and he could have just slid the ball to him. It might have been a little bit more to their liking than that optimistic shot from that range.
Here is Ekoku with his first touch. His first moments of Premier League football after Division 2 with Bournemouth. Now here's Sharp. He's starting to look exactly that after his long absence with injury and illness. Understandably, it's taken Lee Sharp a good amount of time to get back to real razor sharpness, but he's starting to look the part again. Here's Ince. Manchester United leading by 3-0, and so far Norwich's attacks looking like paper darts being thrown at a mountainside.
Yeah, they look very, very much in control of the game, dictating the way it should be played. Manchester United not throwing so many men forward recklessly this second half, and you would expect that. Alex Ferguson will consider his team have won the game now. He really would have done at half-time, so we wouldn't be wanting them to take unnecessary risks.
Norwich will have other ideas. Bowen. With the tackle. Now Crook trying to orchestrate something in there. Culverhouse. United with 9 players behind the ball. Cross for Robbins! Goal for Robbins against his old club! Well then, how does that change things? United caught out. And Mark Robbins, well, he'll remember that one against the club where he spent 6 seasons.
Well, it's only just lazy defending, Ian. We've got plenty of bodies in there, you can see that. Robbins is 1 yellow shirt amongst 4 red ones. And all he's done, he's got himself behind Steve Bruce, a free header. And little Robbins doesn't miss many of those.
For once, Manchester United's defence going to sleep. And Mark Robbins with his 16th goal of the season. And in 7 months at Norwich, he's already got more league goals than he got in 6 years at Old Trafford. Now, that has changed the atmosphere around here. Ekoku getting there, and flags up.
Well, that's the option Efan Ekoku gives Norwich, is that if in the dying moments, the last 15 minutes, they've got to throw it forward, then at least now they have the aerial presence to be able to do that. But it's amazing. Just at a time when I thought his opposite number would be very happy, now Mike Walker can suddenly see a lifeline, or can he?
Now the Norwich faithful really getting behind their team. A more worried look on the face of Alex Ferguson. Surely Manchester United can't throw this one away, because they've been so stylish, so dominant up until then. Norwich were to get another one, this might feel very, very different. Now Phillips, aimed towards Ekoku. He's had a good settling in period, Ekoku. 12 days to train with his new teammates before a match. Oh, not the best ball that from Ince, coming forward. And Alex Ferguson didn't want him making those kind of runs we'd heard anymore. He wanted him sitting in, and Goss is going to try it. Awkward bounce, but Schmeichel was watching it.
I tell you what, Ian, again, Ekoku had made a really good run there. Jeremy Goss chose to ignore him. Watch the 14, the way he darts behind Gary Pallister. And any little roll ball down there, he would have been on to.
Crook again. This has brought the crowd to life now. And United beginning to sense that the 3 points are not theirs yet. Goss towards Ekoku. Bowen biting into the tackle. So too is Ince though. Real scramble for it. United coming away. Sharp and Giggs interchanging. The men to be Young Players of the Year for the last 3 years between them. Now Phillips for Norwich. Long for Robbins. A lot of work. He'd have needed to be entered in the, I don't know, 9 o'clock at Walthamstow or something to win that. Here's McLeod. Kanchelskis. Nope. Not even the jet-heeled Kanchelskis can keep that in. Peculiar ball from Bowen. But it does find a yellow shirt. The Canaries have not been silenced yet. Ekoku, good little work from him. And this is to Phillips. Parker committed himself to Robbins. Phillips again. Aimed long for Rule Fox.
Ambitious, but it was promising until David Phillips opted for that long diagonal ball.
Well, if Manchester United can hold on to the 3 points, they move, of course, to within a point of Aston Villa. At the weekend, we had a horse race that wouldn't start. We've got a title race where the twists and turns in the plot seem never-ending. Who swung that well? Here's Irwin. Play on, says the referee. Does Norwich have possession anyway? Culverhouse up to Ekoku. And at least he's beginning to give those big Norwich defenders a bit more to think about in the air. Goss. Now there might be something again here as United break. 2 against 2. Cantona. Through the middle is Giggs. This could be number 4. And Gunn makes the mistake this time and gets there. And Kanchelskis.
Well, I don't know about Gunn making a mistake. I thought it were 2 fabulous saves from the goalkeeper. That really would have been the final nail in the coffin tonight. But Ryan Giggs finished them off there.
United with a real chance there to make it 4. And Brian Gunn did very well. He's had an outstanding season for Norwich, Brian Gunn. Now Robbins. Ekoku. And he's made a good start, the new signing. And he's won a corner for Norwich there. Ekoku's made a difference, Andy.
Well, he would do. I mean, they needed something this late in the game, a little bit of something different. That's why I was surprised he wasn't introduced right at the beginning here.
Corner kick. They looked for the near post routine. Pallister made sure it didn't work, but there's another chance here. And it came off Ekoku too. The flag was up in there.
I think the flag was up for Will Fox. Well, let's have a look at the saves, the double save that kept him in with some chance. Again, it's the patience and the passing of Cantona that opens it up. But look at the keeper, he gambles and he gambles right. But look how quickly he's up on his feet to block Andrej Kanchelskis.
Heroics from Brian Gunn. A man who rather mistakenly said that the only thing Norwich have ever won is the lowest off Fisherman's Cup. But he wasn't here when they won the League Cup in 1962 and 85, as the fans have been constantly reminding him ever since. Here's Fox. There's more spring in Norwich's step now. The sellout crowd entranced by all of this as the drama takes a little shift in this second half. Look at deflection, here's Ekoku. Norwich's work carrying more threat now, and that was aimed towards Fox on the far post. Down goes Kanchelskis. He hasn't let United down when he's been called off the subs bench this year. Remember that cracking goal when he was brought in for the game against Queen's Park Rangers that we showed you. And another one tonight. Norwich 1, Manchester United 3. Around the halfway point in the second half. Let's hear some news from Nick Collins.
Well, Ian, just to say that hope springs eternal here at Norwich. I'm in the tunnel, been talking to a couple of club officials. They were telling me in 83-84 Norwich were 3 down with 15 minutes to go against Manchester United and drew 3-3. Could that be an omen?
It could be, but United have done the double over Norwich the last 2 seasons.
You'd grasp at anything, wouldn't you?
Well, Norwich have certainly looked more purposeful in this second half.
But the goals lifted them, it's as simple as that.
They're trying everything they know. Do they know enough?
What I do know is that there's plenty of experience in the Manchester United side to be able to cope with anything they throw at. But as we say, we never know. A moment's lapse of concentration, as with Norwich's only goal, and anything can happen then. They get it back to 3-2. Wow, that would be interesting.
Now Sharp. And Giggs playing it in the path of Sharp, who's got lots and lots of pace, but Culverhouse had enough of it himself to make sure that attack didn't develop any further.
And that's just what they have to risk now. They have to go 1 against 1 at the back, Norwich, and with the pace, as you say, of Sharp, Kanchelskis and Giggs, there's always a risk that they'll concede another goal.
Now Brian Robson may be brought on here, the 36-year-old, who still hasn't made his 10 appearances this year, and of course you need to make 10 to get your championship medal. So far he's made 7. This would be number 8. It does look as if we're going to see Brian Robson, and I think he may be brought on to just calm things down, use his experience, hold the centre of the midfield. Sharp is looks to be okay again. Cantona. Still Cantona. Look at this from Cantona, and oh, not quite. What a goal that would have been.
I think he just over-elaborates a little bit here. I thought he had opportunities. You can't think about enthuse over the skill of him, but just there when I thought he hit it, kept going, but again, Brian Gunn's vital touch.
Great work by Gunn. His legs just did enough. Giggs' corner. Gunn, only one-handed. And Sharp couldn't get anything into the shot. We thought this would be a cracking game. It is. Here's Polston. playing it around that United defence, but at some point they've got to get in among that defence and hurt United somehow. Maybe they can do it here. Colston is there, up supporting the attack, the skipper. Goss. Alistair wins it for Manchester United. Here's Bowen. Will Fox has got an injury. And we're going to see Brian Robson introduced here. But who comes off? It's Andrei Kanchelskis who's being brought off. It's just a tactical switch by Manchester United. Kanchelskis hasn't had a bad game at all. But I think probably United are taking the view now that what they have, they hold. Standing ovation for Kanchelskis, and I guess for Robson from the United fans here. 1,500 of them, that's all. Look at that. Praise be to Captain Marvel. Giggs, I understand, is going to move out wide right, where Kanchelskis was playing, and Robson just sitting in front of the back four by the look of it. Ekoku here. He scored 9 goals for Bournemouth so far this season, Ekoku, but he's had his injury problems as well, so that is not from the full season by any means. Culverhouse, Holston, Norwich passing, probing, hoping. Ekoku brought down. And I'm wondering whether Mike Walker had wished he had Ekoku there from the start.
It's easy to say that now, but...
Crook. Alistair, crucial header. Goss on the volley. And flags up. Danger over for United. Well, it's a hard night's work out there, and Gary Pallister's face tells the story. Plenty of anxiety too. So much riding on the result of this one. Fox does get away from Irwin this time. Almost for Robbins, but no. Bruce and Parker. Now Ince. Lee Sharp. Ekoku. Trying to find a way through. He's an awkward customer. Phillips. He can shoot from there if he can find an angle, but he can't. Ryan Giggs, incredible to think that he's still only 19 and won't be 20 until November. Seems to have been around for some time. We've certainly been talking about him for some time. And the thrilling thing for Manchester United is that they have a whole crop of youngsters just waiting and coming through the system, who we're told are the best since the Busby Babes. Time will tell about that. Fox wins that well in the air for a little man. Sharp.
Yeah, but it's an experienced players that we're looking to, particularly in these last 10 weeks, to guide those youngsters, especially ones in the first team in, through to what could be what will be their first title for many, many a year. But the substitution of Brian Wilson makes total sense if you're Manchester United manager. 3-1 he's decided, well, if we don't get another one, that's fine, but what we've got to guard against has been caught in that midfield area, which they have been once or twice in the second half.
Giggs, Robson's made a run forward here, look at this! Is Brian Robson going to score? He's not, because Gunn's there again. And I thought for a moment there that Brian Robson was on for his first goal for United in a very, very long time. First league goal. Ince, sharp.
Just as I'm thinking, Brian Robson will be content to sit in the midfield area. There he goes thinking, oh well, I've had enough of this. I'm getting forward to show what I can still do.
Old habits die hard, I guess. Ekoku. Fox. Off the outside of the foot, lovely ball. Phillips brings it down too, this is dangerous. And it just needed pulling back another yard maybe or two for Robbins, who closed in on the near post.
I think that was the only space he could put it into. Probably what it needed. What it needed, Ian, was someone attacking it. You watch Mark Robbins there, normally this is an area he'll go into. He's got to roll it there. You see the two United players blocking it, being pulled back.
Jay Phillips freshened his appearance on a question of sport. I said to him, what happens next in the time before the game? He says, we win 2-1. He's not right about that so far. Bruce is there. Norwich City have another corner. Rising crescendo of pressure from Norwich as time ticks by. Harry Pallister wins that one yet again in the air. So important to that Manchester United defence. Cantona there was certainly holding Bowen. Taken very quickly and sensibly too by Norwich. Fox. No. Groan from the crowd. Wasn't the kind of trajectory really that Norwich were looking for from Rule Fox, who's an Ipswich lad by the way, and will be looking forward to going back there in a fortnight's time for the local derby. Particularly as Ipswich beat Norwich 2-0 here at Carrow Road. They're the only side so far to win here in the Premier League. Though the list could be added to in what, about 11 minutes time, unless Norwich can do something about it. Fox, too long again. Anyway, back for Norwich, Andy?
Well, Manchester United look to me as if they've got their composure back. The goal definitely rattled them for a few moments. And Efan Ekoku's introduction has certainly helped Norwich, but again, Manchester United looked settled to me.
Holston's let that run, and it was the right decision. Culverhouse, who was a bit of a slip at 50,000 when you think about it. Play on. United taking advantage quickly. McClare looking for the 1-2 with Sharp. Here is Polston, who's done very well as an inspirational stand-in skipper with Ian Butterworth out with a hamstring injury, though Butterworth is fit again now. Crook. He showed too much of it. Well, it does look here as if United will move to within a point of Aston Villa. Both with 6 to play, and both will have a game in hand on Norwich. Ince from long range. Oh, he's hit the angle of post and bar. Astonishing.
Well, when you looked at Brian Gunn's movements when Ince struck the shot, it seemed as if it was just going to sail high, wide and handsome.
It did look from our angle as if that was sailing about 5 yards wide from Gunn's reactions.
Perhaps he realised there was just nothing he could do about the strike.
Fox has got in here. Corner for Norwich. Still United can't breathe easily. They'll be very, very aware that should Norwich get another, there will be a heck of a row going on around here. And a lot of pressure. Is Ekoku.
But this shot from Paul Ince, really, it would have wrapped everything up for Manchester United. It's a long, long way out. But look at Brian Gunn, doesn't move. He seems startled that it's gone off the crossbar.
Second time United have hit the woodwork, of course. The other from Kanchelskis. United leading 3-1. Looking set to move into second place. And United with Sheffield Wednesday at home on Saturday. Then they have home games too against Chelsea and Blackburn to come. Their away fixtures left are Coventry and 2 trips to Selhurst Park to play Palace, and on the last day, Wimbledon. Remember, if it goes to the wire and everybody's still involved on the last day, we'll cover all the matches for you on Sky Television. You won't miss a thing in the championship story. And games coming up this Good Friday from Selhurst Park. Wimbledon in trouble against Crystal Palace. Palace the side in trouble, of course. Wimbledon have improved a bit. Sheffield United down in the relegation zone, home to Manchester City. Both Good Friday. Fox. Goss, good run from him, and a good ball too. Here's Robbins on the left foot, and he had Phillips in space on the far post.
Oh, if only they looked up there, Mark Robbins. David Phillips trotting out the box was in acres of space at the back post. Just as he tucks in, as he brings it back there, if he looks up, he sees David Phillips. He's just content to have a shot on a difficult angle to beat Schmeichel from.
Phillips played that a bit short. Giggs got in. Look at this from Giggs. Cantona. Impudent. Giggs. Packers came to nothing that time. And the flag's up here. Maybe a couple of them who were offside. Holston trying to get Norwich forward. Ekoku. And Robbins just letting Pallister get in. Norwich looking for the goal that really would set up a red-hot climax here. Irwin's interception. United looking to end this little spell without a win. And Cantona's strength takes him there again. He's being pulled back by Sutton. Now something's got to be given there. And it was handball, I think, against Cantona in the first place.
Yeah, he deceived the linesman who was on his blind side. But the referee, Tony Ward, had a great view of it.
Oh dear, Holston has made a present of this one to Sharp. Leclerc. Cantona in the middle, he'll have to watch he doesn't get offside, and disappointing finish. This has been the night that United have really come back to form and restated their championship credentials. They lost 1-0 at Oldham. They had the draw with Villa, the draw with Manchester City, the draw with Arsenal. 3 points from 12. Not good enough. But heading, it looks like it anyway, for the win here. Though there may still be time for Norwich. Phillips. Schmeichel's come for this one and he's got it.
That's good goalkeeping. Made up his mind and nothing was going to change it. Quite prepared to take his own player out of the game and reaching the ball.
Really crunching collision in the middle of the pitch there between Ince and Colston. Culverhouse. United still sensing that there may be even a fourth goal for them in counter-attacks. Ekoku, nice touch from him. Big man did well. And Giggs is brought down. The crowd is 20,582, Norwich's biggest crowd of the season here. The previous biggest was for the visit of Ipswich, just over 20,000 as well. But tonight's crowd, an absolute sellout. United fans happy enough with life. Here's Steve Bruce. Up towards Cantona, but Chris Sutton wins it. And late challenge. Norwich free kick. Boulderhouse, storming run. But he was not really on the same planet there mentally as Robbins. And here comes Pallister forward. McClare is wide. Cantona's in the middle, Giggs is in the middle. (3-1) to Manchester United, and if United do hold on to this, and it begins to look like they will, how important is this result, Andy?
I think for their own confidence and self-belief, it's the most important thing. I didn't think they would have felt they were out of it had they not got the win tonight, had they managed to take a point. But the win will boost every player's confidence and their belief that they can go and get more.
Still Norwich trying to fashion chances, but it's getting late. Robbins with a cute little back header.
It was an intelligent little header. It really was from Mark Robbins. Knew exactly what he was trying to do here. Gets in front of Steve Bruce and just tries to guide it. You see there, that's deliberately trying to guide it into the far corner.
Clever idea from Mark Robbins, that one. The songs are coming from the Manchester United contingent. Giggs. Aimed towards Sharp. Parker. And there's Brian Robson. Good tackled up by Bowen, winning possession back for Norwich. It's too easy for Pallister. Now McClare. United with the look of the side now, who know they have the points pouched. And now we have an incident involving Cantona over there, and it's all getting a wee bit out of hand, though it must be said most of those players are just trying to break things up. Ince is having his say too. Cantona, though his English is quite halting, is making himself understood, I think, to Chris Sutton. Twirled over.
Yeah, it's a tackle from Brian Robson to everyone. You see there, he puts away. And that's two-footed and late from Brian Robson. The Norwich players were absolutely incensed by it.
Now have a look at Paul Ince. He's involved now. He's pushing. Polston is it over there, and then it all gets nasty. Players go after Ince, and Ince really, he's been a lot more mellow, a lot more mature, and he had no need at all to get involved.
Well, it depends how strongly the referee and linesman take that little push there from Paul Ince. With regard to striking John Polston, he could really be in trouble.
Now Ince is being spoken to here by referee Tony Ward. Yellow card for him, and he can hardly have a complaint. Alex Ferguson, I think, is happy enough with that decision. United push up, looking for the offside, and get it. Well, that really was a sort of hark back to the bad old days for Paul Ince. He was told by Graham Taylor, the England manager, to play with a smile on his face, and there was a situation really where he had absolutely no need to get involved, and did. But It's been a blemish in what's been a fine season for him, it must be said. Robson's tackle that caused the initial problems there.
Only a small blemish, I don't think anyone will go overboard about it.
Yeah, sure, and the whistle's gone. United have 3 priceless points here against title rivals Norwich City. They go into second place. Ryan Giggs with one of the goals, Cantona with another, Kinchalskis, who is on the bench, with the third, McClare, who had an outstanding game in the middle of the park. Hardly put a foot wrong, all energy, knotting things together for United. Giggs, another exciting performance from him. The United fans love it. After 4 games without a win, they're back on winning tracks. Mark Robbins got a goal against his old teammates for Norwich, but it never really looked like being enough. Norwich 1, Manchester United 3. United back in serious business now in this ever-thickening plot for the first ever Premier League Championship. They play Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Might be an awkward game, though Wednesday with not too much to play for in the league. Let's hear from Richard Keys and the boys, see what they made of it.
Andy Gray, Ian Darke, thank you both very much indeed. Norwich 1, Manchester United 3. Short break here, back at Carrow Road after that with our guests Ian Butterworth and Kevin Richardson. Plenty to talk about as Manchester United edge back into the title frame.
And doesn't it remind you of an early Chavez? Good right again.